Okay, this video is going to be different from everything I've done here on this channel so far, but hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. And today I'm doing a little story time. I decided to do a little story time. I've just wrapped up a big, well, sort of a big series on emotions, and I decided to add a bit of a lighter content because that's kind of what I have been aiming to do to begin with anyways. And I wanted to tell you a little story back from my modeling days. So let's kind of get into it. All right, so when I was in my early 20s, I lived in London. I lived in London for a long time, and I did a bit of modeling sort of here and there. I wasn't signed with any agency, and I was just finding jobs through connections with different people and also through Facebook. Now, if it sounds shady, I don't know. I don't know. I've honestly had a pretty good experience, but yeah. So I was in a few Facebook groups for creatives in London, so for models, photographers, makeup artists, stylists, people like that. And in these groups, people make posts about different, jobs that they want to do, or if they're looking for collaborations with different creatives. And if you're interested, you can respond to those, and this is how people connect and find each other and do different works together. And actually, I did find some really cool people through these groups, and I had some pretty cool works and pretty cool photo shoots because of that. So generally my experience was definitely pretty good, I would say. Before I get into my story time, I do, however, have to say that, well, it is, I guess, part of a story as well, that if this is what you do, if you are doing modeling, if you're doing any kind of creative work and you are finding people online, please be very careful, especially if you're a young woman. Please be very careful. There's lots of creeps in these kind of groups, and there's lots of very sketchy modeling jobs that I am 100% sure can get you in some trouble. So please be very careful and really mindful who you work with and who you respond to. So yeah, because I definitely had some very weird offers, I guess, and weird messages from weirdo people who were pretending to be working with really big brands, and who wanted to collab and do work for a really big brand that was completely unpaid, and that was literally always of some kind of sexual nature, when you would have to be half naked or whatever. So please do not trust those kinds of postings. Do not trust those kinds of messages from people. If someone is telling you that they're working with a large brand, please understand that large brands do not operate like that. They would not be posting on Facebook groups, and they would not be, well, actually there are a lot of times that they can be unpaid jobs, but you would never, it would never be the case that some shady guy will reach out on Facebook. Do not ever trust those kinds of things. Do not do that. It's not worth it. So just have to put it out there. But anyways, this is a story of how I was in a music video. I actually got a credit as an actress as well, which I think is quite funny. Anyways, so this was in 2019. This was 2019, the end of 2019, and I probably had the worst hair of my hair history in some time, in the last decade, let's say. Yeah. I have curly hair, and I have only recently learned how to deal with it and how to style it and how to, I don't have really great hair day to day, but nonetheless, okay. I do a lot more, I do straighten my hair a lot more now and blow it out and stuff. But back in the day, I did not do that. I did not believe in heat. I was not using any heat on my hair, and I thought that I was doing a really good job, which is like not always the case. But I also had a fringe. So, you know, I had really long hair and I had a fringe, and I barely sort of learned how to style that fringe, and it still looked really bad because I still was not, like, I was still barely using any heat, and it looked really bad. And this is important for the story. It's important for the story because I am the only person, I am the only person starring in this music video. And if I was genuinely proud of this work, I would post it, you know, I would like share a link to it, but I'm not doing that. So anyways, let's go back to the beginning. I found sorry, so I found a post on a Facebook group from a guy who was looking for a model for this music video for this artist, and I was really interested because this did not seem shady, and honestly it kind of wasn't, but still, let's get into it. And I thought that would be a really cool experience, and I genuinely have no regrets, but like an experience it was in some kind of way. So yes, I did respond to his post, and he decided to, you know, put me in a music video. Of course, this kind of work was unpaid completely, and which is kind of normal for these kind of groups. Again, like I said, like people collab a lot, like there's a lot of like unpaid work. But anyways, I took 2 of my friends with me, which I'm really glad that I did. And I always, by the way, again, if you do this kind of work, I do suggest that you take, you know, like at least one friend of yours with you, especially if you're going to work with a man, especially if you're working in some like new location, in a new place, especially if you're working in some like a new studio that you haven't been in before. And again, especially if you're working with a man, especially the one that you don't know. So, you know, I do suggest you take a friend with you or someone just to kind of look out for you. Just for safety reasons, I will always stress that safety always comes first. So I took 2 of my friends. There was no studio. This was, we were shooting in London, like in a couple of different locations. Well, in several different locations, actually. This was closer to the like holidays. So I believe it was maybe like November. So yeah, it was getting dark pretty early, and we spent the whole day shooting. We met in the morning, and we were shooting pretty much until like evening. So there was a makeup artist on set. There was no set. We met at I don't remember where we met actually. We met near some like train station, but there was like a cemetery nearby, and we went to the cemetery to just like sit down, and the makeup artist did my makeup. Makeup artists and the art of makeup is something that is like I don't know, it's weird. I have worked with a couple of really amazing makeup artists who actually did such a brilliant job, and I do believe that you are a really good makeup artist and a really good like hairstylist if you know how to work with different types of, you know, hair and different types of like faces and different types of features. Because like a lot of people for some reason struggle to work with like my facial features, I don't know, especially with my eyes, and they do not know how to like what to do with me, and they for some reason used very specific technique that I guess they learned at some point, and they just like copied and pasted them onto every face, which is not a really good strategy. Just no, because like the same things will not look good on, you know, different types of faces. So if you're doing makeup on yourself, I always recommend you like learn your face really well. You study your own face, and you learn what looks good and what doesn't look good on your specific face. Like that's just always the best advice, because unless you know a really good makeup artist, unless you know someone reputable and, you know, really trust someone with your face, things can go really wrong. Like I wasn't happy with my makeup at all. It looked really bad in my opinion. It did not like compliment me at all. It did not flatter me. It didn't make me look good at all. But I didn't care too much because again, I was like treating it as a job, so which it kind of was. So like I didn't care too much. Like I wanted to look pretty, but you know, like it's not for me. Anyways. So yes, after the makeup artist was done, she left. And by the way, like no hate to the girl whatsoever. Like she was lovely and wonderful. Like no hate whatsoever. After she was done and she left, we started shooting and everything was going completely fine. I mean, everything was generally going completely fine, but there were like a couple of really peculiar moments. First of all, I'm really confused as in like why nobody fixed my hair. Why did no one tell me that my hair looked like my hair would look so bad? Just no. And especially if you have like long curly hair, you would understand me. You know how curly hair looks when you like brush it out. And now imagine that, like I said before, I was not using any heat for the longest time, and but I still like hated the feeling of like unbrushed hair. So because you know, to style curls a lot of the times you should like stay away from hairbrushes and like not brush it out to keep the curl going. And it's a whole method, it's a whole thing. Again, no. So I had really long hair, kind of like now, curly, brushed, unstyled completely with a fringe, also unstyled, looked really bad, kind of unflattering makeup. It was a look. It was a look. Okay. Nobody told me to fix my hair, so okay. The song, by the way, I have to say, it was quite lovely. It was a pretty good song actually, and that was a moment that that really stayed with me, because this is a moment that I felt like I was on like America's Next Top Model or something like that, and I just had to like conquer my fear and conquer my shame and kind of like conquer my fear of being seen and perceived, because it was closer to the evening and my friends like left to have some food, and I made a huge mistake of giving them all of my stuff. I think it also included my phone. Don't do that. Don't do that. I actually don't remember if I had my phone on me or not, but I remember that I could not reach them. So I was left alone with this guy. Again, silly me, silly goose. This guy who is like, you know, young but still like older than me, and never met him before. And he was trying to, we kind of knew where my friends were, but he was trying to kind of like take me kind of further on the location, further away from the place where my friends were. And I kept saying, no, we're not doing that. We're not going deeper. It was really crowded as well, because like I said, it was like closer to Christmas time, and it was like really, there was lots of festivities, there was like Christmas trees and lights, there was lots of people out, which is good. But again, it was kind of easy to get lost in a crowd, and I could not reach my friends so easily, so I was really afraid of that. And again, this is a lesson. I did this right, and please follow my example when it comes to these things. Always put your safety first. Do not ever like follow any person, including if you're working with this person currently. Do not let them like take you to a place where you don't want to go, or like kind of like you get lost or something. Don't do that. Okay. So as for the moment where I had to conquer my shame, he gave me the lyrics of the song. And did I mention I was the only model in the video? The only person in this music video? I believe I did. So he gave me the lyrics of the song, and he told me to learn the lyrics because he told me I'm gonna sing the song. I love singing so much. I love singing. It's been like my, I love it. However, doing this kind of stuff in public was just a little bit too much. He didn't ask me to actually sing the song, but he asked me to lip sync it. So he would basically play the song on his phone and I would have to lip sync to it, and he would like record me, and you know, that totally felt like a competition moment to me, and I fully like braced myself and I did my best to learn it. I did struggle a little bit, like I did sort of learn some of the lyrics. I do remember struggling a lot with them though. And then after that, he put me in a really public spot, but there was some kind of like Christmas decoration situation happening with like Christmas lights and stuff like that. And there was like lots of people and lots of kids. And I was just sat there and I was just lip syncing this song. Again, pretty song, but you know, I had to lip sync and I had to act. I have to say I do a much better job now, so if you need an actress or a model, please contact me. But damn, that was my first experience like this. So you know, this was really fun. This was fun in like in retrospect to look at this, and I don't know, did I feel ashamed? A tiny bit, a little bit embarrassed for sure, but I was thinking that I was doing something there, you know, and I kind of was. And the thing, yeah, my hair definitely plays a huge role in this music video. Definitely, like whenever I actually watched it, which was maybe a couple of times at most, I could not help but notice my hair and how much I needed to learn how to style it, which if you need a video on that, I can make it. How to style curly hair. Let's do this. Absolutely, because I did not know any better. And that was showing very clearly. So yeah. Anyways, the good thing is that I did eventually find my friends. They spent a little too long at the whatever fast food restaurant they were in, and I felt instantly just like safer and happier. I don't know. So yeah, take someone with you. There was also a very interesting moment when we were shooting in central London and I had to pretend like I am like, oh my god. I had to pretend like I'm flying into the sky, like I have like wings or something like that. Or I don't actually remember exactly what I had to do, but I had to do some kind of like ethereal motion, and he told me that he would put like CGI wings on me or something like that, and he would make an effect of me sort of flying away into the sky, and I was like, oh my gosh, this could look so cool. It didn't look cool, but also I don't actually remember if he actually put it in the video or not, because it was a bit of like I felt really embarrassed watching it when he sent me the link for the first time, and I don't even remember. I think he didn't actually put that scene at all, and I felt really silly because we spent such a long time on that scene. We spent a really long time actually on that specific scene when I had to do an ethereal motion to pretend like I'm an angel or something like that. And I think he ended up not doing the effect that he promised me to do, and that could actually be a really good thing. That could be a really good thing. I might actually find it and like rewatch it just for fun, just for the sake of it, I guess. I don't have any regrets. It doesn't look amazing. It doesn't look amazing. This is my digital footprint. I don't really care too much. I'm not terribly embarrassed. I do think it's funny though. I do think it's funny. Again, I'm the only person there. I got an acting credit, you know? But still, I wouldn't do it like this today, obviously. But I kind of did the best that I could at the time with the resources I was given, with the knowledge that I had, and with whatever vibe I was going with at the time. I don't know. This video is luckily not on YouTube. I should actually check, but I don't think it is. And yeah, that is the story time for today. And if you can learn anything from my experience, to just recap, be aware of creeps online who offer any kind of modeling, acting, whatever kind of like hosting jobs, because that's a huge thing on all of these like modeling websites and groups and stuff like that. Please be very, very cautious of that. Not all of them are necessarily shady, and most of these kinds of jobs also, well, not most of them, but some of them do offer quite a bit of money as well. Please be very cautious of that. No money in the world can ever be worth your safety, and don't mess with that. Kind of listen to your heart and like listen to your gut as well. Like be very cautious. Take someone with you on set. It can be a parent, it can be a friend. Try not to go alone if you are working with someone new, especially if this person is a man. Please be very careful of that. Please be very cautious. You know, large established brands will never reach you out through some shady guy on Facebook who is offering you to do like a lingerie, a photo shoot or video. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. I had a guy reach out to me on Facebook saying that he wants me for a Byredo perfume commercial for their new perfume launch. You guys, I did my Google research, okay? I did Google the, perfume he was talking about, and that perfume was already on the market. And that's besides the point as well. No large brand will ever reach you out like that. So please be very careful. Do not agree to do any type of work like that, even if it's paid. A lot of the time it's completely unpaid, by the way, but like even if it is paid, especially if they offer you a lot of money, do not do that. Do not do that. So I'm very happy that I was smart and that I was really cautious, that I was really, really extremely careful. I worked mostly with women, like mostly with girls who are like also photographers looking for models to work with. So I, for the most part, had a really good experience. So I'm really, happy about that. But please be careful. You can never be too careful. Better be safe than sorry. But anyways, I hope you like this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like this type of content as well from me. And I'll be definitely making more videos like this, something a bit more lighthearted and something more like beauty related as well, because I'm definitely interested in that. But yes, and if you are a photographer or any kind of creative, and if you would like to work with me, you would like to collaborate with me in some kind of cool project, please message me here or on Instagram as well. I will leave the link to it down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.